Venus, the morning star, as we call it. But the name is misleading. There is no dawn here. Only a gateway to hell where the sky is the color of sulfuric acid and the air is so thick it feels almost solid. Death here is not a threat. It is a certainty. We begin here. Ahead of us lies the entire solar system, from searing interiors to frozen outer reaches. The mission is simple. Find the limit. The limit of technology, of the spacesuit, of the human body. The point where science ends and pure survival begins. Or where survival becomes impossible. Venus is often called Earth's twin sister. Almost the same size. Almost the same mass. It should feel familiar, right? But this is a twin from a parallel reality where everything went wrong. Instead of blue skies, there is a thick, poisonous blanket of carbon dioxide. A greenhouse effect that spiraled out of control. Venus shows us how paradise turns into hell. Without protection, you'd die in a fraction of a second. The atmospheric pressure is 92 times higher than on Earth. Picture yourself a kilometer underwater, except there's no water around you. The pressure doesn't just press in, it crushes. It would smash your body into a shapeless mass like an empty can under a shoe. Even a titanium spacesuit with a gold coating is only a temporary fix. Sure, it can handle the pressure, but it turns into an oven. On the surface, temperatures reach 460 degrees. The cooling systems would run at full blast, but it wouldn't matter, 20 minutes, and they fail. Then you'd start cooking alive inside your own protective shell. On Venus, death would come as a slow roasting in a claustrophobic trap beneath toxic clouds. But there's something even worse than that suffocating heat. What if you stripped away the dense atmosphere and met the sun's raw fire head-on? Mercury. No atmosphere, nothing to soften the blow. Just the sun's naked fire. It hangs in the black sky like a merciless white eye, 3 times larger than the one we see from Earth. Its light doesn't warm, it burns. The lifeless, searing surface cracks under your feet, and the silence presses harder than any pressure on Venus. A world of extremes. 2 sides of the same coin, and both lead to the end. The choice is brutal. Stay in the light or slip into the shadow. On the sunlit side, it's plus 430 degrees. In the dark, it drops to minus 180. And in between, nothing. No twilight, no merciful coolness. Only the razor edge of the Terminator dividing an ocean of fire from an icy grave. Hammer and anvil. And you're caught between them. Step into the direct rays and the countdown begins. 15 minutes. The spacesuit's cooling systems would howl, trying to keep up with the heat of a lead-smelting furnace. The electronics would start to fail. Invisible radiation would cut straight through your body, tearing cells apart. You wouldn't just burn, you'd vaporize alive? Shade seems like the answer, but on Mercury, shade isn't shelter. It's another trap, slower and colder. The suit's heat leaks into space in an instant. The heaters run at full blast, but they're no match for absolute cold. And the worst part? Night here lasts 29 Earth days. A full month of slowly freezing in total darkness, waiting for a sunrise you'll never see. Venus is a fast, claustrophobic agony. Mercury is a hopeless choice between 2 kinds of death. But what if there were a world with neither suffocating heat nor frozen darkness? A planet that looks almost like home, where you could take one step and not die instantly. Mars. The first breath from the tank. The first step. Underfoot, not scorching ash, but cool reddish sand. Gravity here is only 38% of Earth's, and every movement turns into a light, almost weightless hop. A pale orange sky hangs over a desert scattered with rocks. After the fire and ice of the worlds before it, this place feels like a reprieve. In summer at the equator, temperatures can climb to 20 degrees Celsius. The gravity is manageable. The warmth feels familiar. Everything seems to line up a little too perfectly, too neatly, as if the planet is deliberately hiding the one thing that could actually kill you. There's no crushing pressure here, no searing heat. Mars's enemy is invisible, and it's already inside you. This planet has no magnetic field, no shield. It is completely exposed to space. Every second, the surface gets carved up by deadly streams of solar radiation. Not heat, not light, but microscopic projectiles that punch through a spacesuit, through skin, and tear apart strands of DNA. You don't feel a thing. But the Geiger counter is chattering like mad. Survival here is just a delay. The longer you stay on the surface, the more you slowly destroy yourself. Radiation tears at the circulatory system, turning blood vessels into fragile tubes. It damages the brain, erasing memories and identity. Mars does not kill you all at once. It takes you apart, cell by cell, until nothing is left. At least here you still have solid ground beneath your feet. But what if you fell somewhere with no ground at all? Somewhere where the fall itself is the death sentence, stretched across hundreds of kilometers of hurricanes and crushing pressure. The fall begins long before you reach the clouds. Jupiter isn't really a planet. It's a star that never managed to ignite, and its fury can be felt from an enormous distance. Its magnetic field is an invisible killer. It fries the suit's electronics, turning it into a coffin before you even get close. The radiation belts punch straight through your body, tearing apart your nervous system. Death comes before you ever touch the atmosphere. You die in an invisible fire staring at a giant, beautiful, and completely indifferent sphere. But if you somehow force your way deeper, that's where the real hell begins. First come the freezing ammonia clouds, then a veil of water mist, and then darkness. Winds blasting at 600 kilometers an hour hurl your body around like a ragdoll. Gigantic lightning bolts, brighter than the sun and Earth's sky, flash for a split second and reveal the boiling chaos inside. Pressure keeps building exponentially, crushing the spacesuit and driving it into your bones. 3 minutes, that's all. 3 minutes of free fall into infinity before you get crushed. Saturn is completely different. It doesn't greet you with violence, but with deceptive calm. Instead of filthy storms, you see pastel bands of clouds made of shimmering ammonia crystals. Above you, there's no abyss, just magnificent rings, scattering the faint light of a distant sun. This place looks like a work of art. Quiet, cold, hypnotic. None of Jupiter's brute force. Only Saturn's cold, detached beauty. But death is still death, just wrapped in a different package. The plunge through the ammonia frost keeps going. 5 minutes. The suit starts to crack under the pressure, and the cold works its way inside. Instead of blinding lightning and the roar of hurricanes, there's silence. And there's a sight no human has ever seen. A giant aurora, shimmering green and purple, the size of an entire planet, dancing right in front of you. You freeze. You get crushed. But your final moments unfold in the middle of the most spectacular light symphony in the solar system. Falling into the abyss of the gas giants is a sentence with no appeal. No bottom, no chance. But dozens of moons circle these worlds. Dozens of solid surfaces. If the planet's own fury can kill in an instant, maybe one of their moons could offer shelter. A place without crushing pressure and hurricanes. A place where the main enemy is no longer the elements, but something entirely different. Titan, the only moon in the solar system wrapped in a thick atmosphere. After falling into the abyss of the gas giants, a solid, icy surface under your feet feels like salvation. A yellow haze hides the stars, turning the scene into something like a cloudy day on Earth. The pressure here is almost Earth-like. Your suit doesn't squeeze, it doesn't crack. For the first time on the entire journey, the feeling that the environment is trying to kill you disappears. No fury, just silence and calm. A walk along the shore feels like a surreal dream. Waves roll slowly onto the frozen beach. Except this isn't water. These are lakes and rivers of liquid methane and ethane. Overhead, Saturn's silhouette emerges through the dense haze. Beautiful, peaceful, deadly in its deception. Because here, there's no fire, no hurricanes, no radiation. On Titan, nothing crushes you, burns you, or tears you apart. What kills you here is the one thing you can't outrun: time. Minus 180 degrees. The suit's heating systems are running at full tilt, but that only buys time. And Titan offers something no other world does: an hour and a half. An hour and a half to watch the indicators on your helmet freeze over. Time to feel the cold seep through the protective layers first, and then into your bones. Time to realize, moment by moment, that your death is coming in the calmest hell in the solar system. Consciousness fades slowly, excruciatingly, in complete silence. And after 90 minutes of that conscious fading, the real question changes. Is there a place in this system where the torture ends before it can even begin? Where death reaches you faster than the thought of it? Uranus, a flawless blue pearl on the velvet of space. No raging storms like Jupiter's. No majestic rings like Saturn's. Just silence. A smooth, serene sphere that doesn't flaunt its power. It just exists, buried in a deep, frozen sleep at the edge of the system. After fire, pressure, and hurricanes, this place feels like a reward. The final stop, where you can finally exhale. Pure calm. But that's the trap. What we were looking for all the way through that hell is hiding right here. Survival time, less than 5 seconds. Uranus is the coldest planet, minus 224 degrees Celsius. And this isn't the kind of cold you can simply shield yourself from. It's absolute weaponized cold. So low, it doesn't just freeze cells, it tears them apart from the inside. Body heat vanishes instantly. Nerve impulses don't reach the brain in time. One breath, and the lungs turn to glass. Death comes faster than the thought of it. Neptune offers another option, another kind of sudden death. Here, cold isn't the main enemy. The real danger is invisible and silent, until it's too late. The winds. The fiercest in the solar system. Streams of gas racing at up to 2,400 kilometers an hour. Twice the speed of sound. They don't push, they cut. A spacesuit built to withstand pressure tears apart like paper. 2 minutes falling through this supersonic hell, and nothing of you remains. The icy oblivion of Uranus, the fastest death in the solar system. No pain, no fear, no awareness. We've found the limit of speed. But there's another limit, far more terrifying. We know where death would strike in an instant. Now we need to understand where it would leave you the most alone. There it is. The end. The loneliest death doesn't wait in a storm or in fire. It waits in silence. Pluto. Out here, you're so far away that light needs more than 5 hours just to reach you. It doesn't warm you, it only reminds you of home. Billions of kilometers away. The sun isn't a disk anymore, just the brightest point in an impenetrable darkness. Cold and completely indifferent. You don't feel the isolation here. You feel its weight. You're the last spark of life at the edge of everything. A flashlight beam cuts through the dark and reveals a frozen desert. Hills and valleys made of nitrogen ice, hard as stone. Nothing moves here. Ever. A silent, majestic mausoleum at the very edge of the solar system. Gravity, roughly equal to the moon's, turns your final steps into a strange, slow dance. Every jump weightless, every movement soundless, and the only witness to it all is you. Minus 220 degrees. A spacesuit that survived Venus's hell and Neptune's hurricanes finally gives out here in this frozen silence. The heating systems fail one by one. 8 minutes. Not to fight, to say goodbye. The cold seeps in and now there's no pain, only fading. Slow. Quiet. Final. We went looking for the limits of the human body and found something else. The universe's indifference? Pressure, heat, radiation, cold. Every planet offered its own way to die. But this journey was never really about learning how we could perish. It was about understanding just how extraordinary it is that we're alive at all. Our small, fragile blue world is not just home. It's an anomaly, a miracle, the only place where it's still not time to write an epitaph.